Okay, let's jump right in. We're talking about a modern-day battlefield, but not one with tanks and soldiers. This is the battle for truth, for journalism itself. And the wild thing is, the biggest weapon is also the biggest weakness, technology. We're going to look at this whole thing through a really specific, really important lens. What's happening in Nigeria?
And this quote, man, it just nails it, right? This is the core problem, the paradox, the journalists live with every single day. The same tech that lets them broadcast a story to millions in like a second, that very same tech can be flipped around and used to shut them down completely.
So yeah, you can really see it as this digital double-edged sword. On one side, you've got all this amazing empowerment. We're talking game-changing innovation, a global reach that was unthinkable just a few years ago. But then you look at the other side of that blade, and that's the exposure. Suddenly, you're wide open to data breaches, to censorship, and of course that constant, overwhelming flood of misinformation that we're all swimming in.
All right, so with that big picture in mind, let's zoom in. Let's focus on a place where this fight is happening right now, in real time, Nigeria. It's a perfect example, really, a place where this digital tension is cranked way up. And the stakes? They are incredibly high. But you're probably asking, okay, but why Nigeria? I mean, cyber threats are everywhere, right? It's a global thing. So what is it about Nigeria that makes its situation so unique and honestly so critical for journalists online?
Well, it's not just one thing. It's kind of like a perfect storm of vulnerabilities. First off, you've got a generally low level of cybersecurity awareness among the public. Then the digital infrastructure itself can be, well, let's just say it's not always the most robust. You pile on top of that some pretty weak enforcement of the rules, a legal system that's a bit of a patchwork, and a massive shortage of people who actually know how to fight these attacks. It's basically an open invitation for trouble.
And here's the crucial thing to remember. Cybercrime is global. It doesn't care about borders. A weak spot in Nigeria's digital defense can be poked and prodded and broken into from literally anywhere on the planet. Those lines on the map, they mean absolutely nothing in the digital world.
Okay, so we've set the stage. We know the environment. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Let's break down the 5 main fronts where these attacks are actually happening.
So the first one, it's a bit of a weird one. The first attacker isn't a hacker in a basement, it's progress itself. It's the absolutely dizzying pace of technological change.
Think about it like this. All the new Internet of Things devices, smart everything, each one is like a new door or window into a network. It just expands the attack surface, giving bad actors more ways to try and get in. Or take cloud computing. It's amazing for storage and collaboration, but if someone makes one tiny mistake, like leaving a storage bucket open to the public, boom, you've just had a catastrophic data leak. All right, moving on to number 2. This one isn't about bugs or tech mistakes. This one is all about ideology. We're talking about hacktivism.
So what is that? Well, these are cyber attacks where the goal isn't money. It's about pushing a political or social agenda. So they might launch an attack to knock a news website offline just to stop a story from being read. Or they'll unleash a fire hose of misinformation to completely bury the real facts. It's a direct assault on a journalist's ability to just do their job.
Number 3 is a really scary one because it reminds you that you're only as strong as your weakest link. And here's the kicker. Sometimes that weak link isn't even you. It's one of your partners.
This is what's known as a supply chain attack, and it's slick. Instead of trying to break down the front door of the news organization, the attacker goes after one of their trusted vendors, a software provider, a contractor. They break into the vendor's system, and then they just waltz right through the digital door using the vendor's legitimate access. It's sneaky, and it is brutally effective.
Okay, number 4. This is one we can all relate to because we've all been tempted. We're talking about simple human error.
For all the training and all the warnings, those phishing emails, the ones that look so real, are still one of the top ways hackers get in. It's the simple stuff, right? Using a weak password, accidentally leaking some data, or sharing your login with someone you shouldn't. It's like building a digital fortress with giant walls and then just leaving the back door unlocked.
And that brings us to our 5th and final front of attack, the massive skills gap.
Look, you can have all the fancy security software in the world, but at the end of the day, you need people. Smart, trained people to run it and fight back. But in Nigeria, there's a huge problem. The demand for these experts is sky high, but the supply is incredibly low. And what makes it even worse is something called brain drain. The most talented pros often leave for better opportunities elsewhere, which just leaves the country's media even more exposed. So we've walked through these 5 major threats, specifically in Nigeria.
And it's easy to listen to all this and think, wow, that's tough for them, but what does it have to do with me? Well, it turns out it has everything to do with all of us. An attack on journalism anywhere creates a ripple effect that, believe me, reaches everyone.
Just think it through for a second. A journalist gets hacked. Suddenly, their personal safety is gone. And what about their confidential sources? They're exposed too. So the next time a whistleblower has a crucial story to tell, are they going to risk it? Probably not. Critical investigations into corruption or crime, they get smothered before they even start. And what fills that empty space? Misinformation. It rushes in and spreads like wildfire. And pretty soon, public trust in any news just completely falls apart.
Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to this one simple truth. An attack on press freedom anywhere is a threat to truth everywhere. This isn't just about protecting one group of professionals. This is about defending the very foundation of a society that needs real, verified information to function.
So, I'm just going to leave you with this one question to chew on. We live in an age where information is a weapon, where the battle lines are drawn online. If the digital shields protecting journalists completely fall apart, who's left to report the truth? Who is going to be there to tell us what is actually happening in the world?